safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the middle of the African bush. Join me as I search for the famous Karula, a female leopard. This is Safari Live. Ready.
Standing by.
Welcome to the center of Djuma Private Game Reserve here in the Sabi Sand, South Africa, for your live African safari. My name is Brent. I have Virm on camera with me, and as I said, we are searching for Queen Karula, who we had on the sunrise safari, and we're hoping to find her again. The weather's quite strange. It's about 28 degrees Celsius, and it's very humid today, and I'm wondering if there might not be some rain on its way later on. And you can see complete cloud cover. It's been quite a relatively cool day. We've had a very cool October so far. Normally it's much hotter, which means that Queen Karula possibly has been on the move while during the day. So we're going to start where I think she might have popped down into the Moati River. If she hasn't, we're going to head back towards where we last had her, and hopefully the leopard luck is on our side. Now, I know there was supposed to be a fireside chat scheduled for this evening. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that due to the weather and some other little difficulties. But don't worry, next week there will definitely be one, weather permitting, of course. Remember, hashtag Safari Live or questions at wildearth.tv if you have any wonderings or musings, or VM spotted an elephant that I had no idea was next to me while I was rambling on to you. This finger starts doing this. Oh, Eddie is in the thicket a little bit. Now the elephants, I've been hoping to see some. That's about, maybe a little bit more. Oh, that's about as good as it's going to get in the riverine thickets. I've been hoping to find an elephant mud bathing since we've had a bit of rain, and they've just been avoiding me. I haven't seen any splishing and splashing and spraying of mud, and I'm starting to feel like the elephants are teasing me, because I can see even that one's been splishing and splashing in the mud at some point today. Looks like a youngish bull from what I can see through the trees. Always nice to start your Sunday afternoon drive with an elephant. Now, while our elephant's in the thickets, it seems like Jamie has got another elephant and she'd like to say hello.
And from one elephant in the thickets to another, a very good afternoon to all of you, and welcome on the Sunset Safari. My name is Jamie. This afternoon I have Jean-Dre on camera with me, and we're going to be heading out into the wilds of untamed Africa. It's a bit of a stretch, but semi-tamed Africa, to go and see what we can find for you. So this morning, the lion pride gave us the slip and disappeared off into a very dense block. So I've decided this afternoon, I know Brent has been discussing the weather, as we do every day, to fill you in on what it feels like out here on a day in the African bush. They could still be moving, and in fact the number of elephants that have been moving around this area might also mean that they have been chased out of whatever particular comfortable spot they managed to find themselves in. I'm relatively certain this is the same elephant herd that gave Jean-Dre and myself a little bit of a rev this morning on our way home. We were trying to get home. One of the elephant calves screamed for a totally unrelated reason, at which point the female decided to blame us for the provocation caused and came racing out of the bushes with fury in her eyes. Luckily, we were able to skirt around her and discourage her from coming running full tilt at the vehicle, but it was an interesting experience to have before one's even had one's breakfast. Little calf racing off to catch up with Mom. Of course, we don't blame that female in the slightest. It's amazing the protective nature that elephant cows have over the rest of the breeding herd. It might not even have been her baby that she was racing to protect. The bonds between these magnificent pachyderms are incredibly strong. And off she goes, into the thickets once again. Let's see if there's any more hanging around a little bit further along down the road. Otherwise, I'm going to go back and see if we can find these lions. I'm frustrated because we just missed out on seeing them this morning. In fact, so much so that when I got out to look at their fresh tracks, I actually think I scared them a little bit. I didn't know how close they really were, and I just heard brrr, and then they obviously disappeared further into the dense vegetation, which is exactly what I didn't want to happen. So now we're going to try and find them once again. Unfortunately, the number of elephants wandering through these areas might make life a little bit difficult. Okay, let's see if there's any more of them tailing the herd. Perhaps we can find the big bull. These tracks I've been seeing, I smelt him last night, he was in must. I've been seeing these massive footprints on the ground. I want to see if I can work out where he is. And then, of course, I'm sure Brent told you about the possibility of the return of the migratory bird species. Perhaps he didn't. Perhaps he's keeping it a surprise. One of them has arrived back on our shores as of this afternoon. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. We're going to try and find one. There we go. Apparently he hasn't told you what we've seen. And we're going to try and find some of them to show you them. Oh, and the classless cuckoo have also returned. And the African black cuckoo. A combination of calls outside our house in the middle of the day. And then the I'm so sad cuckoo, which apparently is I'm so glad. I'm so sad. Well, let's see which migratory species we can find first, having returned to the Sabi Sand once again. Oh, unfortunately, I think that was the tail end of the herd. Oh well, let's go and see if those lionesses from yesterday that were separate from the rest of the pride have decided to go and rejoin them. They might actually make our lives easier when it comes to tracking the rest of the pride down. Otherwise, I'm going to sit and strain my ears to try and hear the sound of the 8 little cubs that the Nkuhumas have with them. Now, the Nkuhumas will lie silently all afternoon, if they want to, but the little cubs are guaranteed at some point to make a noise. Hopefully we can use that to help us track them down as well. Right. Our tax did come and check up on the spot this morning where the lions... Ah, there you are! Where the lions had their kill and they had moved off. Let's see if we can follow their tracks to meet up with the rest of the pride. Hello, big boy. Lovely big bull. Here we go. That's sort of what I was looking for. There's a big bull trailing the rest of the herd. This isn't the one I was thinking of. He's not in must. And he's not as large as the tracks I've been seeing, but he's still a good-sized bull. Let's go a little bit back before he gets into the road so that we can actually be in front of him as he pops out. See if we can calculate his trajectory exactly. Where are you going to pop out, mister? I would say if he keeps moving and doesn't stop to feed. Right, so it's important. I'm trying to work out where he's going to come out, but it is important that I don't then go and park in his way. Obviously, that's exceptionally rude. That would not be good manners at all. It's like seeing somebody trying to walk through a door and purposely going to block them. And we're not going to do that. We'll shift out of his way a little bit. And now we wait. Hello, big boy. You're going to stop and feed just there. No, here he comes. Oh, he's beautiful. There's something incredible about being in the presence of these large bulls. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's just, I've said it before, I think it's their level of self-possession and comfort. They know that they're the biggest things out here. And as a result, they don't feel threatened by anything. They are just magnificent. Hello, boy. He might even come up and say hello. He's been watching us all the way along. He might come and loom. Hello, my boy. Aren't you beautiful? He's so incredibly privileged to sit and enjoy the presence of these incredible creatures. Bye-bye. You're off to catch up with the rest of the ladies. Better move quickly. They're well on their way. So bulls of this age, and he's not, I mean, he's still not massive. He's probably, I would say, in his mid-20s, maybe getting up to 30, but probably somewhere in his 20s. So he's still not nearly full-sized. He's going to get much, much larger as he grows older. Bulls like him lead an almost typically solitary existence, or else they find the company of other males like themselves, maybe to enjoy a little bit of sparring and so on. But when they do come across an elephant herd, they hang around for a little, I think, for a little bit of company, in a way, and also, of course, naturally, for the possibility of having a chance to mate with one of the females. While we head off in the same direction of the elephant bull, see where he's off to, let's go across to Brent, who's got an aerial predator.
And definitely one of my favorite aerial predators, tired aerial predator on Djuma, the African hawk eagle. Now we can only see one, but I'm pretty sure the other member will be sitting close by somewhere. Terror from above if you're a squirrel or francolin or guinea fowl. Now I saw my first black cuckoo of the wet season just now. I heard him calling, but he took off before we could get a camera near him. So keep a listen out on the Djuma dam cam for the I'm So Sad bird. I'm so sad. And then I did see my first European beaches. I mentioned on the sunrise safari that my dad saw them this morning in Hoedspruit, just outside Hoedspruit. So I thought they might be arriving, and they arrived this afternoon, but they flew over us so quickly. But hopefully we should see some. Now, that means so far on the cuckoo front, I've heard Klaas's cuckoo, African cuckoo, black cuckoo, and red-chested cuckoo. So there's still a few more to arrive, and I think James has managed to get the African cuckoo on camera already, but the other species are still waiting to make their summer debut. So we're just going very slowly through here. Now, the last place we saw Karula was through there. I just want to make sure she hasn't come through here. Our best bet is she's made a kill during the day, and she's headed back to fetch the cubs, and she's on her way back. So I'm just going to check very slowly through this area. The ground can be a little bit hard around here. Oh, it sounds like we've got an unwanted passenger. Let's see if going up the hill will get rid of it. Karula does like to use some of these big animal paths around here. It's always good to just check very carefully. Now, for the birders who are arriving shortly, who are with us, VM spotted back about 10 meters. VM has spotted a snoozing antelope. A well spotted VM. There we go, a little sleeping grey duiker, one of Karula's favorite foods. Okay, it's always good. It's so still. You can hear some hardy-dar ibis in the distance. But other than that, you can see how the sky is darkening. Now, when you get this very still, humid weather and not a lot of wind, it generally means the rain is on its way. But just before it comes, it normally lets you know when the wind picks up. Aha, I thought I heard something up ahead. Not what we're looking for. And definitely what the Nkahumas might be looking for. There are buffalo scattered throughout Djuma. Oh, and they're a bit nervous at the moment. Obviously being persecuted by the lions a lot over the last little while. It's okay, guys. We're not the Nkahumas. Let's go forward a little bit. So 2 buffalo bulls. Look a little bit young to be proper duiker boys just yet. There's still some soft boss on the one in the front. Probably find they've been separated from the herd during a hunt. It is so quiet. Now we just want the stillness to be broken with the snorting or barking of a impala or kudu. Bye-bye, duiker boys. So while we keep checking very slowly for Queen Karula, let's go back to Jamie and see how her endeavours are going.
Our endeavours are going very, very well. And well done to Gendre for spotting our lions right there in the drainage line. Can you believe it? After all that, 1 male and 1 female, presumably a honeymoon couple. Aha. Right, well, without any further ado, they've probably been lying there all day. I mean, I want to just place my head in my hands in despair. Let's go down to the lions. Well done to Gendre for spotting them down in the drainage. At least we have the answer to some of the questions we had to ask ourselves, which was, where have the lions gone? Well, at least we've got 2. Yes, so we haven't ended our lion streak. We've done very, very well over the last few days with the Nkuhumas, or at least should I say the Nkuhumas have done very, very well for us. And they have not left the boundaries of our traverse area for a very long time. Hopefully that remains to be the case. Okay, while we try and make our way down to get a better view of these lions, allow me to just call this in on the Game Drive channel. Since nobody saw lions this morning, I feel a little bit better about the fact that we managed. Yay! Relief! It was bugging me. It's been bugging me since the end of the sunrise safari. Phew! Afternoon stations, one Mufuzzy, one Madodangala in the Shkova just north of the Big Jackalberry on Garikat line. Okie dokie. Right, let's see if it is just one male and one female. Yesterday it was 2 females in this area. And let's see who we've got here. Because the wonderful thing about this is that they should or could potentially lead us to the rest of the pride. No, it definitely looks like just 2. A honeymoon couple, perhaps. Which 2 now? That's the question. Okay, they are lying up in the back. That to me looks like number 3, the Birmingham boy. He's always got those patchy bits on his skin. Let's go see which lioness he's with. Trying to give them a little bit of space as we move in. Especially since mating pairs of lions, the male tends to be a little bit more protective over the female. But luckily for us out here in the Sabi Sand, our lions are incredibly familiar with the presence of vehicles. And as we come through, he's barely lifting his head. Hello, boy. Hello, Porvin, who is 9 years old. Porvin, you want to know how many lions there are in this pride. Well, Porvin, usually we see 5 adult females in the pride and 8 tiny little cubs. And then the males, who aren't really part of the pride, but they're dominant over the pride. So they spend a lot of time with the females, sometimes coming to mate with them, sometimes coming to share their kills. And the males, there are 4 of them. So altogether, that makes 5 lionesses, 8 cubs. So you're counting with me, Porvin. 5 lionesses, 8 cubs, that's 13 lions plus 4 males is 17 lions in total that we could see all together in this particular spot. But usually the males aren't all together. They're usually spread out because they've got a huge territory that they have to go and patrol and make sure that it's kept safe from other male lions. So we don't usually see them all together. But we do see them when they come, especially now, which is what's happening at the moment, is he's decided, or the female's coming into heat, which means she's able to make babies, and he's taken her and separated her from the rest of the pride so that they can mate. So I assume that's what these 2 are up to. And on that note, it's probably the young lioness. When we get round to see the front of her face, it's most likely her. Brent and myself think that Amber Eyes is pregnant. She could still be mating. The hormones do occasionally get confused, so we could still see her mating, but I think that's the case, which means it's more likely to be the youngest lioness of the Nkuhuma pride. James Dungan's asked a question that I asked of the viewers a couple of weeks ago, which was when, I think it was with Karula. We were talking about when she was moving den sites, and we were wondering if we had them picked out. And James Dungan's asked a really good question, which is, do the lionesses or the female big cats have a place picked out when they're ready to have their litter, or is it a spur-of-the-moment thing? They definitely scope out previous den sites. They also definitely know previous places that they've used in the past as den sites. My thoughts are, Because, I mean, when we saw Karula giving birth to her litter, she was spending a lot of time in the exact place that she did actually go on and give birth in. I think they try and choose as carefully as possible, but I think they probably have a couple of contingency plans so that if the labor process does take them by surprise, then they can just pop into the closest one. But they definitely have places that they use regularly. What I would like to know, particularly, let's say, with a pride of lions like the Nkuhumas, because a pride of lions can be in one territory for generations and generations, do the females actually pick out a spot themselves that they might have been raised in when they were cubs? Will they reuse den sites? Kind of like sea turtles. You know the way sea turtles always go away? Sea turtles always return to the beach that they hatched on to lay their own eggs. Stop being so persistent, silly fly. Go to the lions. There's a couple of lions there. Go over there. They're much nicer targets than I am. I'd love to know that. Or Karula, for example, denning cubs in places where she herself was denned. Makes sense to me that they would use tried and trusted places. She's breathing quite heavily. It is unbelievably humid today. It's very close and sort of sweaty weather. That might be why. She's also got quite a full belly from the buffalo that she was consuming yesterday. And maybe even from the few times she's tried to escape her suitor. The youngest lioness in particular seems to meet the advances of the males with a certain degree of reluctance. Like she doesn't quite know. She doesn't really want to be in their company, and she'd really quite prefer to be with the rest of the pride, which has resulted in quite a few squabbles while we've been watching them over the last few weeks. Often she's turned around and smacked the male that's been blocking her path. Oh, number 3 finally gets his day, presumably, after losing out the last time to number 4, who is slightly larger. He seems to have managed to score the company of a lady this time around. They might also just be together. She might not be in full estrus. He might be courting her. He might have got the wrong idea and decided to block her from moving with the rest of the pride. Chances are, though, it's his doing that she is separate. It would not be by her design. It was amazing. Brent was going through some of his old photos earlier today. Oh, look, what's he doing with his mouth? Dreaming. Brent was going through some of his old photos today, and one of them was one of the Birmingham boys a couple of months ago. And I mean, I know we've talked about the drastic change over the years since they first arrived. But my goodness, they've changed a lot in the last few months. Particularly this gentleman. He's still, to me, the smallest of the group. With his patchy skin condition, not a threat to him in any way or shape or form. Bill, you were asking about male lions, and of course one of the most famous group of male lions were the Tsavo male lions. You were saying, is it true that they did not have manes? I've heard that as well, Bill. That was my understanding of the Tsavo man-eaters. I don't think it's all of the Tsavo lions. I think there are definitely lions in Tsavo that have manes, but the famous man-eaters that sort of dogged the footsteps of the railway workers and the railway builders and were hunted for a very, very long time. As far as I know, when they were finally caught, they were youngish males, but they didn't have full manes. I don't know if they might have had slightly fluffy heads, but they didn't have full manes. All right, I heard something moving. So it does happen. Just like you get females with manes, which is something rare that's been happening, seems to be increasing in frequency. Their testosterone levels are slightly higher and they just grow a mane. And you do get maneless male lions as well. And that was one of the reasons once put forward that the male lions couldn't establish themselves a territory because they didn't have a mane and therefore had to become man-eaters. And that's, I don't think, makes any sense at all. Lions are opportunistic, and human beings in the dark are easy prey. We are far more defenseless than a buffalo, and particularly a whole load of underfed railway workers would have been a very, very easy target for them. It's a scary thought. Luckily not a problem that we have in the Sabi Sand. But yes, Bill, as far as I know, unless this is some kind of weird old wives' tale, as far as I know, the Tsavo males didn't have manes when they were finally caught. Although there's always a part of me that wonders how they knew that they actually got them. Aha, talking about old wives' tales and things of that ilk. Jason, you were saying, is it true that lions have a claw or a spike in the tip of their tails? They do have a hard, calloused, quite sharp end underneath that fluffy point in the tail. I have been fortunate enough to feel it on an anesthetized lion that we were busy helping with an injury. So yes, they do. There is, however, this Maasai tale, and it's one that has spread throughout folklore, that when a male lion is whipping himself into a fury, because of course when a lion is cross, they start to whip their tails, they thrash their tails, just like house cats. So the idea was that they were using that spur to whip themselves into a fury, sort of causing themselves pain by hitting their sides to kind of get their blood to boil before a fight. That, of course, is total nonsense, but it is true that they have a hard nodule underneath their tail, underneath the fluff of their tail. They're amazing creatures to be up close and personal with, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail when we come back, but let's head across to Brent for now and see what he's up to.
Well, we're going very slowly. We've heard another black... evil cuckoos. They keep flying away from me. But we've had a very good, careful look around that area where Karula was. We can't find any tracks, but there have been a lot of elephants there. So, yeah, I'm calling again. There we go. I'm so sad. Over there, I think. He's the one who flew away from us. He's landed just over there. We'll see if we can catch him. So I think those elephants might have pushed Karula further to the south. So we're going to check the Mawati River next. Try find a black cuckoo. Could be a new species for a few of our birders out there. Remember to let me know about your bird lists, and if we manage to get the black cuckoo, if he's one of your new species, I'd love to know about it. Hashtag Safari Live or questions at wildearth.tv. Maybe in that leadwood, Vim. Where are you, Mr. Cuckoo? So, the black cuckoos, when they call, they generally perch very high in a tree. Oh, there he goes, darn him! I don't know if we can count that for him. Did he land? Yeah. Oh, there he goes again. No, that's not him. There he is, there he is. Okay, we'll try and get a bit closer, but he's there. Hello, black cuckoo. We got you. You thought you could avoid us. You're just making too much noise, I'm so sad. My grandmother refused to let us say, I'm so sad. She said he was saying he's so glad. A bit difficult to be glad with that mournful call. Here we go. Let's try and sneak a little bit closer. Unfortunately, the light's not great, but still, I'm sure this is a new bird for a few people, so we will try and get a closer look. Oh, he's gone. He's going to land closer. He landed in the thicket there. Has he got him through there, Vim? A little bit forward. Now, he's still there. So cuckoos, one of their favorite foods are caterpillars and inchworms, which should be all over the place at the moment. Oh, there he is. We got him there, Vim, so just through that little hole there. There he is. Well, there we go. It's bird number 142 for Carol in London. Well done, Carol. The black cuckoo. Hopefully a lot of you have joined us during the winter months are going to get lots of new birds during the summer period. So he's a bit far to show you now. But when you're a bit closer to them, or the light's a bit better, you can see the sort of mottling on the chest, as well as the sort of little white windows on the tail. There we go, the black cuckoo. He's calling. Isn't that so nice? So, hi Aaron in New Zealand. I don't want to talk to anyone from New Zealand today, Aaron, sorry. After what the All Blacks did to the Springboks last night, it was actually quite bad. I think one could say it was a massacre. But since it's about birds, I will respond. Which of the cuckoos travels the furthest? Now, Aaron, that's an absolutely excellent question, because I don't know, and I'm going to have to research and find out for you which of our cuckoo species travels the furthest. At a guess, but I will double check, it's probably the European cuckoo. I think the rest of the cuckoos are intra-Africa migrants, so they migrate to other places in Africa. But I'm not 100% sure. I will double check for you. Now, a friend of mine saw a very, very cool bird today, and one I don't think we've ever seen on Safari Live, which is the thick-billed cuckoo, actually, while we're here. Where is he now? A thick-billed cuckoo. And you don't see them too often. There we go, that's what he looks like there. So that was seen in the Sabi Sands. I've seen them in the Sabi Sands. I've never seen them since we've been here. Let's have a listen. So it sounds similar to Klaas's cuckoo, but it's not quite. It's a bit more high. So the one you can get confused with, the thick-billed, is the Klaas's cuckoo, which is this one. But it's more melodious. Let me show you what he looks like. Very pretty little bird. That's an emerald green. I've heard them calling. And I've heard the thick-billed calling. And he's even got a caterpillar, his favorite food, in his mouth. Okay. Oh, sorry, Vim, I was a bit quick there. Now, Jean is wondering if the black cuckoo is also known as the ghost bird. It is not, Jean. The spookfall or ghost bird is a grey-headed bushshrike. Now, let me just quickly. Okay, so all the different cuckoo species are what we call brood parasites. Now, Vim, you're looking for tracks for me while I'm talking here. So brood parasites mean they use other birds to look after their babies. So they will actually lay their eggs in another bird's nest and kick out the other birds' eggs. So they hatch, and they often will raise this bird that's twice the size of them. Now, black cuckoo, they are shrikes, are their preferred brood parasite. Oh, quickly across to Jamie, who's got something small.
Hey, look what we've got here. Stumbling into the middle of our lion sighting. A slender mongoose. It's a mongoose species that we hardly ever get to see. They're solitary and secretive, which is why this is such an amazing thing, because now it's even stopped to dig. It's searching out food. Unlike their dwarf mongoose cousins, they're entirely solitary and do not appreciate being seen. They are such secretive little creatures that half the time that we see them, we can't even get them on camera because they've dashed away. And now we've got the opportunity to actually watch this one going about its day-to-day life. And the only reason we're so lucky to be able to see this is because this is such an open patch and it's so far away that it feels comfortable enough to start digging whatever it's digging out. Wonder what it's after. Most bright red eye. Look at that, there's the typical black tail. That is a diagnostic of a slender mongoose. Oh, and that I think is that. Let's just wait one more second. No. Oh, there it goes. There it is. Awesome. You can just see it moving about there. Very cool. Well, that is not something we get to see every day. I mean, we get to see lions every day. Not that we're bored with lions, but we don't often get to see a slender mongoose. What's fascinating about them is how different they look throughout the different parts of the country. So the ones here are almost a yellowish color, sort of a yellowish brownish color, almost like our lions. Whereas the ones in the Kalahari are actually a much more reddy tan color. They're really beautiful. They're a sort of a reddish brick brown with a little bit of maroon thrown in. It's a bit too complex a description of color. It's a bit overly florid, but you get the idea. But always with the black tip on the end of the long tail. Right, so we've repositioned to look at our lions. And it is the young lioness. It is indeed the young lioness. As she looked up at me, I could see that she doesn't have amber eyes, so it's definitely not amber. And once again, she has found herself in the company of the males. This is a whole new experience for her. Oh, big stretch. Oh, I love it when they do that. I love it when they cuddle themselves with their paws. AJ, who is 7 years old, let's look at the male lion's big mane so that we can answer AJ's question. AJ, you wanted to know if a male lion's mane ever gets thorns stuck in it. Yes, absolutely it does. Let's see if we can look closely. Maybe we can see one, AJ. Maybe there'll be something tangled in here. Oh, look, he's stretching. I can't see anything today, but we definitely often see the lions with thorns in their manes. Sometimes, AJ, their skins are so tough, and lions are such tough animals. Oh, that might have ruined a surprise for you. Sometimes the lion's skin is so tough that they could actually get thorns stuck inside them, inside the skin itself, and not realize. Brent's been doing marvelous work this afternoon. Assuming you haven't heard any of that particular comment on the Game Drive channel. Let's have a look at our sleeping lions for a little bit. Tucking in for the afternoon. A really good way to spend a Sunday afternoon, I feel. Speaking of good ways to spend a Sunday afternoon, I was going to make a plaster of... Oh, hold on. Hello, girl. Ah, there we go. Another comfortable spot. I'll tell you about what I had planned for this afternoon at another time. In the meantime, I'm sure you're all very excited about the surprise with Brent. Let's go and see what he has found.
It is the Queen of Djuma, Karula. With all the elephants, we predicted that she might move into the Mawati River. And we were driving down the Mawati, talking about cuckoos. And then literally, as we linked across to Jamie, we found the tracks in the riverbed. And I had my head off the side of the vehicle, watching the tracks. And the tracks disappeared. And I said, oh, Vim, did the tracks go your side? He says, no, there she is. I said, what, the tracks? He's like, no, there she is, lying right next to us. You can make your way straight here, the only station. I'd recommend coming here first. She's probably going to move south. Now, what she's actually watching is there's a herd of elephants about 50 meters from her. So she's just watching, making sure the eddies don't come this way. Now, there could be quite a few impala. I can't see through the thickets where she's looking. I can only just make out elephants through the bush. I don't know. It doesn't look like she's had any success in her hunting so far. I think she is going to get up and move. And you might have heard me on the radio. I think she might move south. Unless she catches something, she'll start heading back towards the cubs. So if she had caught something, that white on her chest, there might be a bit of pinkish on it. Oh, there we go. She's up and moving. Oh, look, I love the way a leopard can stretch. Standing by. Copy, make your way. You can see there's those elephants. Now, if we're lucky, those elephants are going to make a move back to the northwest, away from the southern boundary. Yay! But that's literally just where her tracks came from. Maybe she got chased by an elephant. Christy says, oh, how I've missed the Queen. Christy, you're not the only one. I know VM and I miss her when she's not here, and I'm sure lots of people out there. Trying to see where she's heading. It's actually heading towards the elephants. What's she doing there, Queen Karulski? Oh, having some grass. Now, it's not uncommon to see the big cats chewing on green grass. That helps with digestion. Michelle in New Jersey says there's lots of impala for Karula at the Djuma camp. Well, Michelle, we can hope she heads that way. And she's taking no notice of the elephants. There's an elephant probably 30 meters from her at the moment. How she's slinking to avoid detection from the eddies. The queen of camouflage. hear the trees, actually. That wasn't a branch, it was a tree breaking from the elephant. Diane saying Karula is quite thin this afternoon. Indeed, it doesn't look like she had a successful hunt this morning after we left her. But that could change now. It's going to be interesting to see where she decides to go with all those elephants. I think she wants to go south and west, but there's a wall of elephants blocking her that way. Where are you off to, madam? Remember, hashtag Safari Live or questions at wildearth.tv if you have any questions for us. Oh, stretching. Let's see where she goes once she drops down. Yeah, hold on. Oh, look at that, we're going to have a shot of her and an elephant. Here we go. Queen Karula and an elephant's bottom. Now, I have seen leopard do this before, and actually hunt between elephants, so hunt a nyala or impala that might be near the elephants, and her approach might be a little bit held back from the noise of the elephants. Now, I'm going to try. You're holding on, Vim. We're going to need a little bit of speed to get up this bank. Karula's now about north on the western bank of the Mawati. There's also a Klambi of Ndlovu in the position. Stick with her and try and get there's a good spot. So, especially with all those elephants around, if one of them decides to chase her, we need to try sort of keep with her as much as possible. Okay, Vim? Good. Would an elephant knock down a tree to get a leopard that was in it? It is possible. It'd have to be quite a small tree. Normally if a leopard was trying to escape elephants, it's fast enough that she can just run away from them. Let's try to keep it there. Fortunately, she looks like she's moving into an area that's a little bit easier than the ride she took us for this morning. Hi Brent, great name Brent, in Ontario in Canada. He's wondering if we've ever caught a leopard kill on camera before. We have. We've caught this particular leopard catching a baby impala. We've been very close with a few others. Station's best access for Karula now is on Twin Dams, between Mamba and Inyala Road South junctions. See how she just stops and listens before she's got to cross some open ground, trying to make sure she doesn't hear any potential prey up ahead. Those lovely long whiskers. So she's deemed it safe to cross. Just head up onto Twin Dams and then head north towards Chelepan. See, this is why she was about to come out into this more open area, so she stopped, listened. There's always a good chance that there's some impala or nyala or any potential prey around here. Now, if we look at her while she stopped there to zoom in on her back feet quickly for Jackie J. There we go. And Jackie J was wondering if that was extra padding or extra long hair. Now, it is hair, but there is padding as well. But it's not extra long padding, but there is hair there, but the skin's closer to the surface there, and that's why it's coming through a bit darker. You can see it a little bit on the front as well. Very, very observant of you, Jackie J. No water in there for you, Queen Karula. Are you going to be the world's first wallowing leopard? I doubt. That would be very unregal. Now, you can see there's some extra long hairs above her eyes. There we go. Elizabeth's wondering, is there any purpose for those? They'll work probably the same way as our eyelashes do to a degree, as sensory organs, that if she is moving quickly through the bush or whatnot and something touches that, she might close her eyes as a defense from a thorn or a stick going into her eyes. We have seen her with a couple of thorns close to her eyes before, and that was probably in the attempt to catch something. There we go, Karula and a black cuckoo calling in the distance. Oh, no, it doesn't like that mud. So she's moving very slowly, very purposely, stopping, listening, looking. She's on the hunt, and there's nowhere I'd rather be on this Sunday afternoon than with the Queen of Djuma hunting through. We're actually pretty much smack bang in the middle of Djuma now, around an area called Spaghetti Junction. Now, VM, look here quickly. Sorry, I know. Oh no, where'd he go? There we go. And that's the reason the cuckoos have arrived. Their favorite food, caterpillars. Now, there is a bit of water in the next pan, so she might drink there. I'm just going to scoot up ahead of her. I must admit, this pan smells more like buffalo and elephant urine than water. Well, Robert says Karula is his favorite cat. He feels like he knows her personally since he's been watching for 8 years. Okay, let me just move forward a bit for you then. See how dainty she is? She doesn't even get her paws in the mud. Hey, Fim, make your way. See, she's drinking out of the little buffalo footprints there, so as not to have to get to where the soft mud is. Actually, here we go, hear her drinking that. Look at this. I wonder where she's heading next. Now, she is heading towards Vuyatela at the moment, but I'm pretty sure she's probably going to encounter something to hunt on the way. Okay, she's gone right behind us. Well, Cheddar Apocalypse would like to know whether a big cat's tongue is so sharp and it's got barbs that can cut skin. Well, it can cut human skin. It wouldn't say it's barbs. It's more like a rough sandpaper. Now, lions in particular are a lot worse. And if a lion had to lick you constantly in one spot, it would take your skin right off. Leopards not quite as coarse as the lions. But nevertheless, I mean, if you think about your domestic house cat at home, how rough their tongue is, now imagine that much, much bigger. Now, Aaron in Florida is wondering, are leopards and other big cats good swimmers? Not particularly. They are able to swim, and in certain areas they will swim. So one thing we must remember about animal behavior, a lot of it's area specific rather than species specific. So for example, the lions here really don't like swimming, and in the Okavango they're forced to swim because of the area they live in. And the same goes for the leopards in Gabon in the rainforest. They need to swim regularly, whereas the leopards here don't have that need. But the only two big cats that really do like water are jaguars and tigers. Now, jaguars are incredible swimmers. They'll actually hunt from the water, and they even hunt caiman crocodiles and tapir while swimming. I've only ever seen a leopard swimming once, and that was in Central Africa in Gabon. As I was driving the boat around the corner, I happened to see a big male leopard crossing the river. He didn't look very happy about having to do it. Deborah, if you need to get onto Twin Dams Road, around the junction, or around Spaghetti Junction, where Nyala Road South and Batalia join with the Moati. There we go. Okay. There's she going to be a bit. Ah, there she is. Now she's heading, it looks like she might head back towards the Moati River. So she's zigzagging, and this is very typical behavior for a leopard on the hunt. She's checking through areas, trying to see if she can spot any potential prey, which makes it sometimes quite difficult to track them or to follow them. You're back with us. Now, it seems like Jamie's having a bit of a gremlin problem, but she should be back online shortly. We're just slowly following Karula. She's about to go into some thickets. There she goes. So while I try to stick with her, it seems like Jamie's back. So let's go see what her plans are.
We've exciting news. I have left our lions for now. We will... Better slow down there. Don't want to upset the elephant in the road. Be terribly unimpressed. The reason I am racing at high speed away from the lions and up towards the boundary is that exciting times. Quarantine has been spotted. How exciting is that on Cheetah Plains? Oh, here's the drag mark for the buffalo. Must be. This must be where the hyenas dragged it away from yesterday. Right, so quarantine, the male leopard is on Cheetah Plains. I do want to race there because I have a feeling we might need to go in and out without getting rained upon. So my plan is to race as quickly as possible in that direction. I don't really want to get caught on Cheetah Plains in the rain. And it is meant to get, the chance of rain is meant to get a little higher as we go later into the afternoon. So for now, I've left our lions, who didn't seem too keen on doing much, apart from the odd twitch. Hello, Elise. Would you mind if I come through?
Keep going, she's now still heading north in the Milwaukee.
Oh, little one. I can't resist an elephant. I know we're meant to be rushing to a leopard, but oh, we're just too cute, this little one. Couldn't drive past this. It's something so wonderful. What are you doing? Trunk wasn't working so well, so you decided to bite directly off the tree, huh? Oh, it's tough finger, baby elephant. That coordination's not quite there. Not like Mum, who can smoothly wrap her trunk around a branch and rip it up. Braden, who is 10 years old. My goodness, we've got lots of kids watching this afternoon. Our Braden, as this big female comes up to us. Hello, big girl. Hello. Ah, I see. Hello, it's all right. Braden, sorry. Just making sure that this elephant isn't going to cause any nonsense with its mouth full of root. Hello, it's all right. It's okay, big girl. Braden, yes, elephants are very, very protective over their little babies. If something is hunting a calf, then the whole herd will come and try and protect it. Mothers, aunts, sisters, cousins, the whole herd, not just the calf's mom. That's the amazing thing about elephants, is that the herd will come together and will protect them. The other amazing thing about elephants is, particularly this herd, is going to start walking straight towards those lions, and there's actually a very, very good chance they're going to chase them away. So even, Braden, even when a predator isn't hunting a calf, even when they're just wandering about, going about their daily business, elephants still get cross and still chase them away. Whether it's lions that could actually hunt an elephant, or a wild dog, which absolutely would never be a threat to them. Elephants get so cross when they see predators. And they constantly band together and start chasing them away. Okay, our Ellies have moved into some dense vegetation, and I'm champing at the bit to go and see Quarantine. I've only seen him once. In the entire time I've been working here, I arrived just at the point where Quarantine, by the way, is the son of the wonderful Queen Karula that you've been watching with Brent. Now, what was I saying? Oh, can you believe I arrived just after Quarantine and Kunuma dispersed away from Djuma? I saw Kunuma twice, very briefly, who is Quarantine's brother, and then I've only seen Quarantine once. I'm very excited to see which particular, he's on a kill as well, which is very exciting. I don't know what kill it is. Andrew did tell me, but I was so excited by the prospect of Quarantine that I wasn't actually listening properly. But let us trundle on our way there.
Alright, gonna come through here.
Okay, welcome back. We're still with Karula. Unfortunately, Jamie seems to be having a few technical difficulties. We are now waiting for her to come out of the thicket that we couldn't follow through. And VM said he saw her just there. She's right behind this thicket here. So we had to do a bit of guesswork to see where she was going to pop out. And it looks like we guessed right. Isn't that lucky? Wow, skillful. There she comes. Henry, if you come back up onto Twin Dams, I think she's going to go drink at the pan. Standing by. We're at Chelepan, which is at the junction of Pangolin Track, Twin Dams Road. So it looks like she might have spotted something or heard something. Back a little bit. Oh, thanks, Sam. Too busy watching Karula. She's running. There's something there. There's something in these thickets in front of us. It could be a nyala. Okay, looking. Station at Chelepan, coming. Can you see her, Vim? Stations, she's just run into the thickets. I think there could be a duiker or something in here. Just to the south of Chelepan. So she could have seen something. We've lost sight of her. She went in there, so I'm just having a quick peek around the corner, so to speak. Watch your head there, Vim. There she is. There's a duiker right in front of her. I just come a little bit further to the south of the pan. She's about 10 meters away from a duiker. Okay, Vim, you see that? Okay, you got right on it there. The duiker's on the other side. She's just to the left of it. So she just disappeared into this little hole here, and it looked like a duiker over there. Just keeping quiet now. There she is, there she is. Look at that. Look at that stalk. Now, I saw a duiker just sort of walking calmly, feeding. I don't think it spotted her. I've lost sight of the duiker. It moved into the thickets there. And she is literally moving a muscle at a time. Look how she's flattened her ears. Now, leopards are capable of incredible bursts of speed, about 24 meters per second. And you can only keep that up for about 5 meters or 6 meters or so. So they generally have to be very close before they pounce. But just from the way her body's moving, I think she could be quite close to pouncing. See how she almost seems to be coiling. Oh, look, 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 look. There's a slender mongoose there as well. But I don't know if that, I don't think that's what she's hunting. There she goes. She's got the duiker. She got it, you heard that. Let's get in there. She's got it, she's got it, she's got it. So it's the same duiker we saw her stalking. Look at that. Isn't that incredible? Well done, Queen Karula. And so you see how she grabbed it quickly. She had to stop that distress call. And that distress call will bring in any other predators. So like hyenas. And you saw that incredible speed. Now, sorry guys, I know this is distressing for some of you. If you are a little bit sensitive, please don't watch. What you can do is just turn off for now, especially don't listen to the sound if the duiker does start making a noise. But this is nature, and that duiker is going to provide a meal for Karula and her 2 cubs. And Brent from Canada was just asking, do we ever see leopards take down animals? Well, there we go, Brent. Right now, a brand new viewer. You're very lucky. We don't get to see this very often. Yes, as Vim said, she hasn't got the best grip on it, so it might get away, but I think she's got, those canines will sink into the vertebra there. So let's see if we can go a little bit forward, Vim. In my excitement, I caught a stump. There we go. Let's uncatch the stump. Is that fair? There we go. Now you're going to hear a little click click. I'm just going to take a quick photo or 2. As I said, I know this could be distressing for some of you, but this is nature and this is live, so we cannot script what happens. And just feel very privileged that we're lucky enough to see this. Is not something people get to see very, very often. Now, another exciting thing is that because she's caught this, she's going to bring the cubs back here. And she's dragging it straight towards us. She's pulling it right in front of our vehicle. Isn't this incredible? Now, she's right on the edge of the Mowachi River. There's wonderful places for her to be able to hoist this kill now. So you can see the duiker is still alive. but the kicking is becoming a little bit less frantic. Now, Kat in Tampa is wondering why she doesn't use her paws and claws. Well, Kat, with a small prey like this, it's not necessary. She's might have to let go and change, and you'd be amazed at how some of these would be able to escape. There she goes again. Okay, I'm pretty sure she's going to take up a tree around here. We're going to stick with her. Let's wait and see. You can see those kicks getting a little bit more feeble. It's nearly over. Isn't this incredible? This is not something people get to see ever. And we're lucky enough to share this with you live from the middle of the African bush. Wherever you might be, you've just seen the Queen of Djuma, Karula. She's still just waiting for it to stop kicking, I think, before she drags it. I think it'd be a good idea to wait in the drainage line below. There's a lot of nice jackalberries there she might hoist into. Okay, there we go. She's dragging it again. And you see where she goes. Is she going back? VM said she's changed direction. I've got a bit of a problem with the vehicle there. Okay, lost her. Sorry guys. I'm not sure what's happening with my tyre. Okay, so it looks like she dragged that into this little drainage system here. I'm afraid my car is not going to be able to move for a bit. I need to actually have a look what's wrong with it. So she's taking it in there somewhere. I think that's exactly what happened. I think we might have bent a steering rod and I can't turn. I just need to have a look. Is that wheel turning at all?
It's standing like that.
Yeah, this one's standing like that. Unfortunately, we can't move the vehicle without risk of actually damaging it quite seriously. Not much I can say. It does happen. We are live in the middle of the bush, and steering rods, they put them in silly places. But we did get to see Karula take down a duiker. I got to now try plan what I'm going to do next. Let me just say, or we're going to tech loop. Sorry about this, guys. We're going to try get sorted as quickly as possible. How, I'm not quite sure yet. What we can do is maybe ask Alex to bring out Wendy, and we'll try and make a plan from there. We might have to tow this vehicle. Actually, we might have to, I don't know what we're going to do. We might not be able to tow this vehicle with braking. We might need to bring a trailer. Okay, but we're gonna figure all this stuff out. Hopefully we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, I'm afraid we're gonna have to go across to Tech Loop.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being live and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gowrie repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being live and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gowrie repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being live and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gowrie repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately, we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being live and in the bush. But our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gowrie repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately, we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being live and in the bush. But our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gowrie repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being live and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gowrie repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being live and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gowrie repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being live and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gowrie repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.
So unfortunately we experienced some tech difficulties. That's one of the things about being live and in the bush, but our tech crew is on it and not asleep like the lions behind me. Hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Sorry about this, everybody. Perhaps something has pushed over the Gowrie repeater, just like the elephants have pushed over this marula tree. Our technical team is rushing around madly trying to fix it, and we'll be back with you as soon as we can.
Hi everyone, we are experiencing technical difficulties, but please bear with us. Our engineering department and our tech department will be working on getting us back up and running as quickly as possible. As you know, bringing you live safaris from the middle of the African bush is not always the easiest task in the world, but we will be back up, and stick with us because you never know what might be on your screen when we return to you.